Hello everybody, welcome to round 3 of the OVRC GT3 Series at Zandvoort. I will be your main host, Alex. I've also got Erwin here to help me. Way too confusing to do this by myself.
Hello.
There we go, great greeting. Great start to this professional stream. So, we have been to Zandvoort before. It was a while back, it was at Season 1, way before we were anywhere near the point where we are now.
Way before we had this fancy logo.
A fancy logo, for the fancy website. It was basically a bunch of Excel spreadsheets I put together, and I was like, call that a day. Well, you were racing, weren't you? I believe I know I was there definitely. Do you remember much from then in terms of driving this track? Because a lot of people say it's quite a tricky track to drive on.
I was actually streaming in season 1,
Well,
so I didn't drive back then.
didn't drive
I
back
was
then.
basically doing what we're doing together now.
But yeah, I remember now. You did the broadcast back then. Look, obviously a difference of time. It's a tricky circuit. Many drivers just don't want to drive here. They don't enjoy the track because of how much a difficult circuit. There's a lot of corners here which are off camber. They're not easy corners to take. Most notable ones is turn 1. Very easy to spin out on the exit. We've seen a bunch of that in practice sessions, which is obviously not streamed, but we observe them as watching around, and people don't even struggle there. Another couple of corners which are often quite tricky are the 9, 10, and 11 turns complex. Quite a slow complex there. It's quite difficult.
Yeah, it's definitely not a forgiving track. This.
But the good news is there's a bunch of overtaking opportunities. Turn 1 obviously is a very good one. Turn 12, another good opportunity to overtake. Turn 10, while being slow, the track does get quite wide, so it is a lot of chance to overtake then. It is the biggest place you can't really overtake is the pink area around turn 5, 6, and 7. Quite difficult and it's quite a fast set. What would you say would be your place you'd like to say overtake the most at, would you say?
I wouldn't know actually. I haven't really driven this track much.
One thing we would have been noted about is the pit entry. It has been noticed by the drivers already. We've noticed it already. It is a tricky pit entry. It's very fast as you enter it, so it'd be quite interesting to see what happens there. Less about the track now. Let's go over and see our current standings in the championship. As we head over to this lovely little screen I got set up here, as so you can see right now who's leading the championship is Daniel Highwayman with 40 points. He's come second in both races so far. Mark Whitford in second with 29. Jensen in Nissan is third in 27. Tom Dentist is fourth with 25, tying with Thomas Jensen, who is fifth with 25 points. They both won a single race, but then missed the second races. It's the interest between those two. Those are both the only winners we had so far, and they're quite far down the order. John Dalton in 6th with 20, Victor Berlin in 7th. He's doing quite well this season compared to the last couple. He was struggling a lot season 2. He was not having an easy time then. Robert Nygaard is also having not a good start to the season, not as strong as last season. Last season, an incredibly strong start with very high point positions in race 1 and 2. It's gonna be interesting what he does. Next up is Robin Sunderland in 9th, and via Sebastian Brunier, who's surprisingly low right now in the overall scheme of things, but you never know, he may be able to put a good result up here.
In 11th is Anton Kuivalainen with 10 points. Tied him with 10 points is Kevin Nav. Then we have two people with 9 points. In 13th position, it's Marcus Lawrence and Dragos Vibe. In 15th, it's Jorgen Welby and Chris Bow with 7 points. 17th is Connor Mathieson with 5 points. 18th is tennis Thijs Dendau with 4 points. 19th is Alex Fake with 2 points. He's here right now. And in 20th, it's me with 1 point.
Moving further down then, before we got 2 more point positions, because obviously you get 1 point for finishing a race, you've got 0 points, you either haven't finished a race, or you haven't entered. So we've got the last 2 will be Stephen Higgins with 1 point, and Thomas Nilsson with 1 point as well. Anyone below them either hasn't raced yet, or hasn't scored the points yet, so we don't know what they're going to be like. We don't know if they're going to turn up this race. There's already been quite a lot of people complaining about heat going on right now. It is the summer, it's very warm in Europe. Some people are just saying it's too warm for the race. Which is a bit of a shame, but there we go, that's how it is sometimes.
Yeah, it's 29 degrees Celsius outside here right now, so it's pretty hot.
It is very warm right now. It's not quite bad here. Luckily, I do have quite good ventilation in my room, but obviously some people don't have that nice ventilation. They have to have a single window open. It doesn't quite work then, especially for the VR people. It's even harder for them. They got a warm device stuck to their faces. It's not going to be easy for them.
Yeah, the VR headset absolutely just melts to your face in these conditions.
So get a track map up. As you can see, this is the track of Zandvoort. We just got a track again quickly up on the stream so we can discuss it again. As you can see, you got the turn 1 point, which is being shown quite a lot. It's quite a twisty circuit, and some parts get very narrow. Again, going to the back, the first sort of kinky straight turn, the 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. It's quite hard to do anything then. You got to go in a train, and afterwards the track slowly spreads out again, and it gets back narrow again. It's an interesting. And before, the track used to be quite long. If you look at historical images, it's quite a bigger track, but over time it's come to this configuration. Worth noting in mind, they do race DTM here, which I don't quite understand how. Track.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the most obvious track for DTM, but
we got a bunch of high downforce cars which don't like getting damaged much, and let's put on a track where it's very tight. Going to be very careful around here. Again, it's quite tricky, and we're going to keep emphasizing this point. It's a tricky circuit to race at. It's not your everyday circuit. So we've got a couple minutes now until people will head out. The server will be open. People will have it on track. So we've got opportunity right now just to. Who do you think right now is going to have the biggest chance of winning this race out of the people we know who will be competing this week?
Well, I think Thomas Jansen and Tom the Dentist are very close in practice. I wasn't around at the last practice bit of practice that was done, but I believe they were very close. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out in pole. I think Thomas Jansen definitely has the home advantage here. He has the best fans in the Netherlands.
Best fans jokes. I mean. Yeah, they got very strong. Thomas, again, is always strong. He's strong with every track he goes in that Bentley. He knows how to get it working. Or Thomas, not Tom. Tom is, they got similar names. It's confusing sometimes. Yeah, he's always very strong with every track he's gone to. He's always got very good positions. He was going to have a good result at Hockenheim until he did have an issue. He could easily have won that race or come second. Malaysia was just his race. No one really got close. The only reason Andy Heilman was ahead of him at the start was just the launch and the Porsche. It has been a controversial topic sometimes in the OVRC with the drivers, is the Porsche's launch. It was supposedly fixed a while back. Some drivers still don't think it's quite there, the other cars. Some people think it's a bit more powerful than other cars when it comes to that launch.
Yeah, mostly Tom is still thinking that.
He's adamant that car is way too strong compared to the other ones. You gotta remember, Tom Dentist, also a very strong driver. I don't know if his pace is up there. I don't have too much look at the practice results. I saw just going by quick sessions I did it. They got very similar pace. Tom just seems to have the edge right now. He still was worried coming to this race that his tires would run out on his car. He's worried because remember season 1 he lost the race to who was it? It was Charlie, wasn't it?
I'll see if I can find it. If I can find the old website.
Find the old website somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. This is. You should know this already. I think it's Charlie. Remember. Let me. I mean, if you're checking.
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
In the meantime, so yeah, he didn't win it. That's the main point. Due to what he says, his tires on the front end were wearing too much. He didn't have enough grip in the tires to get anything done. And he said that was the issue in the race for him. He just could not keep the tires going compared to his competitors, which tires didn't have the same issues. But it's been a while since then. There's been changes to the band's performance. The Bentley itself has been given front downforce increase and a power increase since that race. It was a while back now. From practice, he's saying he might have fixed the issue of the setup changes he's done. He may have managed to get around these issues that the Bentley was having, and he doesn't have the issues anymore. You found it yet? You're still looking.
I have found it. It was indeed Charlie.
Yeah.
Came first. Thomas came second. It's Dandy Highwoman in third.
Yeah. Danny back then was running the Mercedes. He's now running the Porsche, which is unfortunately.
Yeah, well, Charlie was running the Porsche in season 1. The Porsche came first here last time around.
Unfortunately, I don't believe Dandy's racing this weekend. I keep saying weekend. It's not the weekend. It's Monday. He is not racing. I don't know what his reasons were, but I remember him posting something about he won't be racing this week.
Yeah, I believe he had some internet issues. His router exploded or something.
Something like that, you know. Right, got that ready. Right, so yeah, Thomas looks very strong. Tom Dentis looks very strong coming in it. Is anyone else you think might come close to those two? I got strong bets. Maybe Sebastian can get something together. Maybe Mark can get something together. They've both been very strong so far. Sebastian's had a couple of unlucky races, but he's been showing great pace.
Yeah, I think they can. I think they definitely have a shot. I think it will depend on both the Toms if they're going to make any mistakes, and if they can keep it clean, maybe they'll have a chance for the victory. But I think the Toms definitely have the pace advantage.
Now, speaking of keeping it clean, it's a tricky circuit. There's a lot of chance of spin. Tom Dentis is in the McLaren. Mid-engine cars are notorious for getting very easily unsettled and getting very easily knocked off track, having spins, having incidents. Do you think that might be in favour of the front-engine cars like the Bentley and the Corvette, which are very much the top cars right now in the series? Porsche, of course, another one, but that's not racing here, so we sort of ignore that. Do you think that's going to be an issue, or do you think Tom will manage to avoid that and actually use the advantages of the cars? Because the car, when it's running, should have an advantage here compared to the others, but do you think it's going to be an
issue? Really, it depends on how well the drivers can control their car in the end.
Do you think it's going to be purely a driver thing and not the cars that's going to do something which it's not meant to, or something? You believe it's going into his hands to make sure that car can work?
Yeah. Definitely. I think actually the mid-engine cars in some ways could have an advantage because they're a little bit more agile. So in the first part of the circuit, a lot of low-speed corners. maybe they could have a slight advantage there, but they definitely when things go sideways, it's going to be a little bit more tricky.
Yeah. Now, another thing to bear in mind is some of these drivers were racing yesterday in the Checkered Flag Endurance 60 Minutes of Suzuka. All of them were not in their cars, they would be racing here. Well, some of them were, but the top end drivers weren't. Thomas was in a Mustang, and both Sebastian and Robert were racing in prototypes. Now, do you think that the fact that they've driven these other cars for a race and then coming here now a day after with only about a day of practice in it, do you think they might have issues adapting back to their old cars? Thomas has already noted the fact that the Bentley feels a lot different to the Mustang. He feels a lot more grip to the car. Do you think that's going to affect him at all? Do you think he's actually going to be positive of this because he's had experience in a weaker car? What's he going to be like with a stronger car?
Well, I'm not sure. I think that they've already gotten used to their cars by now because they've been practicing for hours already.
So you think they've sort of got over it now? Like after the first couple of minutes of getting some laps down, they're over it. They're not going to have any issues with the cars.
Yeah, I mean they've been driving GT3s for so long. I think they should have found their comfort with them very quickly.
It's going to be interesting to see if anyone tries to run the first corner to launch it into the corner thinking the car's going to stick, and then the car just goes completely into the gravel trap. There's a lot of gravel traps here. There is two large ones around again, turn 1 has a big one. Turn 8 has got another big one. These are very hard to get out of, by the way, these gravel traps. And there's no tarmac runoffs here. There is all grass or gravel. Drivers will need to be careful when going off. They don't use too much of the track. Again, this is not a forgiving track at all for drivers. It's a very tricky track. For pit stops, though, do you think the strategy is going to be very similar? Because I've got a strong suspicion everyone's going for tyres. Not a single driver's going to not do the tyre strategy. Because Japan with a mixed strategy, the race before that, mixed strategy. Do you think it's going to keep going? Or do you think people are going to say, track is way too difficult on worn tyres, I'm going to put a new tyre set on?
It will be interesting because I think keeping the tires, not changing tires, is pretty risky at this track. It can catch you out a bit, but ultimately the drivers have to determine for themselves whether it's worth taking the risk, whether their pace on new tires is going to be good enough to compensate for the pit.
Because it adds about 20 seconds or so to change tyres. Of course, they could just change one set of tyres. They could do a very high traction control preset, cause minimal wear on the rear tyres, go for the front tyres, just change the front ones on, and then just go up with those, reducing the pit stop time by about quite a bit. That may be a strategy people brought into us. Maybe people have not thought about that. Maybe that's leaked a strategy idea and everyone's going to use it now. That could be it. It could be very interesting strategies. Because of the track being such a difficult track, it's a lot of very flat. Unlike Hockenheim, which is not many corners, there's a lot of stop-start corners where tyre wear, well, it does matter, of course. It's not very many high-speed corners where traction matters too much. You sort of track's very straightforward. This hit here is a very different track. So as we got less than 10 minutes until the server opens, until we get hopefully get some cars on track. Remember, there will be an hour practice session, and then there will be a 25-minute quality session. 5 minutes of that will be taken up by the driver's briefing, which is done before all quality sessions. It's just general basics to the drivers, telling what they can and can't do. Then after that, it'll be quality. Then it'll be a 60-minute race. So the schedule of things right now, how things are going to happen. So I think we should take it to a break for a bit before the server goes live. A quick break, come back. Hopefully the cars will be back on track though.
Yeah, I could use some more water.
I need more water, so I've actually already gone through half a water bottle. It's very warm. Drivers need fuel. Not fuel. They have fuel. Water. So I'll quickly put the back screen back up, and we will be back very soon. Welcome back, everyone, with a quick, short break. With about 2 minutes until the server opens up. Really not much more to say now because we sort of discussed everything already, and we still got an hour of practice to go. So I guess we've got to observe people's practice times. Just mind that if you are interested in signing up into the league, you do have time before you can join. Again, as long as you're signed up on the website and join before quality starts, you're able to. So, link is in the description. Are interested in hopefully good racing today. It's been good racing also so far, and here's a bit of opportunity here to go quick chat. Hello, people chat. We won't be talking too much because I'll be too busy watching racing. But maybe Erwin can help me out occasionally with chat messages and stuff.
I'll keep an eye on chat. Hi, Sebastian.
I'll be too busy trying to use the spectator tool and everything at once. There's a lot of stuff to deal with.
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff on our screens right now.
I have 4 screens right now. I put a post on the Discord earlier, and they're all filled with stuff. I can't find a single.
I mean, it is sort of the authentic commentary experience. If you look at like behind the scenes with Radio Le Mans or something.
Yeah, they have screens
Just
everywhere.
screens everywhere.
Right, 10 seconds to go until the server parts will be live in the Discord chat, and people will slowly begin joining us. Can't learn too much from practice, obviously, because people will be running different sort of programs and such. They'll be like doing different strategy tests and stuff. Right, there we go. We now have the password posted.
Boy.
Wait for people.
No, Hank, I'm not racing tonight, unfortunately. I'll be helping Alex out with the commentary.
We're grateful for because. Right.
Yeah, I experienced that in season 1.
We have our first car on the server is Thomas Jensen in the Bentley.
Try hard.
Try hard trying to get the first slot. You gotta get that crucial. I remember when I was racing, I was like joined the server first, got that first pit box. You know exactly where you were. Generally, some tracks actually did a different order. They would I always find it odd. Some games do it from the back to the front. Some games do it from the front to the back. Doesn't matter much, but it's how some people do that. Wait, hopefully it will set out soon. Right now it's sitting in the pit lane. Not much we can do. Look at this.
I think he's still loading. I don't even see him yet on my screen.
Anyway,
Good evening, CB.
not going to be racing, CB. Got the rig now. Well, hello there. We're getting quite busy now. Getting busy. We've got now 2 cars on the server. We're getting there slowly as people slowly make their way. Saying that it's a bit quiet about that. Oh, no, person gone.
Professional broadcasting.
Professional broadcast.
Totally prepared.
I prepared all this fancy stuff before. That's all now over. We're now back to amateur level. The professional part is done. I now need to.
We can stop pretending to be professional.
Yep. There we go. It's all over. Boost. Put some boost. Right. Turn everything up.
And before he's turned it up too much.
Tempting to turn up. Here we go. First car, and now it's gone. Our first car out on track is Mark Whitford in the Corvette, number 31 Corvette. This is the Callaway one and not the other one, because there's two Callaways. There's the old C6 model and the C7. This is the newer one. This actually has won a season of ADAC beating Masters in real life, but that point doesn't mean anything in this game because it's a game in the day, different bot. I mean, you have driven this car, and you also driven the Porsche. Which one do you prefer driving out of the two? Because I've not driven any of those cars, so it might be a bit of insight into the car as a whole.
It's difficult to say because they're both very different.
Porsche obviously being a rear-engine car, this being a front-mid. If you like being a front-mid, it's because the engine's pushed so far back that it's really not a front-engine car anymore. The only real front-engine car these days is the Nissan GT-R. If you actually look at pictures of the bonnets when they take them off the front, the engine is shoved all the way back into basically where the driver is, which is why the term front-mid comes from. That's why I like to call it anyway.
Yeah, the engine is technically not on the front axle anymore. It's sort of in between the front and the rear axle, but more towards the front. So it is technically a mid-engine car, even though it's practically in the front.
So, I'm gonna say it's first timed lap of the of this practice session. To reset. Again, you can't read too much in practice sessions. Of course, some people will be running different programs as such. You hear it often in F1, the idea of a program. They'll be running, some people are running full fuel, some will be running qualifying fuel, some people are just trying to use this time to try and learn the car as much as they can. Remember, there's no, unlike a real motorsport, it's a simulation. Obviously, people can practice anytime they want, but this is like the official time when people can start comparing to other people. Goes round now towards the 10th turn, heading towards T11. There are technically names for the corners. I'm not going to bother pronouncing them. They are way too difficult to pronounce. I mean, Owen can try. He's Dutch.
Yeah, I'm Dutch. I can pronounce them.
I'll head towards not really a chicane, but it's called the Audi S. Not really an S, but apparently what it's called. Heads towards the final two corners. Heads down now to the start-finish straight. Bit of weaving. Obviously not happy with his tyre temps. He puts the car 1:38.328. First timed out of circuit right now. Let's see. Thomas Jensen is second on track position, I believe, right? He enters the final two well.
Tom Dentist just started his hot lap.
Just got here in the background of the stream, he's going to go. Thomas puts it fastest, 1:38.096. So, as you can see in the top of it, about a 0.2 difference between the two right now. So it's a bit closer than we were expecting at first. I'll forward Tom Dentist as he's on his flying lap now, heading towards the turn 8. This is a long sweeper turn, heading to the what I like to call the complex as such. These little areas of bunch of corners. He's now set a purple first sector. Heads into the slow turn 10. Right.
Mark Whitford has set a purple second sector, by the way.
So is apparently Thomas. He's all set a faster sector. The overlay hasn't catched up yet, but seems that Thomas pulled off this lap. So he's not happy with it. Yeah, he's one second down in the second sector. Tom Dentis puts fastest sector 1 right now as he heads towards the cane.
Mark did not manage to improve his lap this time around. I think he made a mistake in the last sector.
He's now got purple sector 2. Looking to improve that time a bit more. Comes around the final 2 corners. Bentley had a lot of grunt in a straight line. It may look big and aerodynamic, but that car is a quick car. It looks hilariously out of place when you see it. So at times he goes.
The Dentist did a 140.5. I don't think that will remain on the board for much longer, though.
No, I believe he can't. From what I saw of it, sector 2, he just think at the time he wanted and pulled out of the lap fairly early on. Let's now hop into Mark Whitford's gone out a fastest sector 1. The times just seem to keep dropping down as it seems as they get the use of the cars. The fuel comes down, times will start to drop. Remember, we're running 2 times fuel here. The reason we're doing that is to make a one-stop strategy possible, rather than having a 0-stop. Makes a bit of strategy come into play, because having no strategy in the end of the day just makes the races not really interesting, especially with the whole tyre changes. And Mark spins! He spins around. Out of turn 13, the Audi S, he spins the car around. He's heading 2 fastest sectors. I believe he just hit the curb then, but must be very annoyed about that, as looking to set the fastest time of the server, and he now goes very slowly into the last couple of corners. He just pulls in now, but he's definitely pulled off. The time is 1:45. He pulls off into the pits. Now we can see his pit lane, which is very difficult.
I watched the replay and he went slightly off into the grass there.
Let's look at as Tom Dentis comes across. He sets fastest time. Tom Dentis is now a 1:37, so that's 0.6 of a second faster than Thomas Jensen's time.
Jensen comes into the pits.
Now Chris Abel, as he sets around the Z4, a car which I'm very used to. So is Tom Jensen. He's raced that car for a season. The car is no means slow, despite the fact it's actually one of the older cars in the field in terms of it. But it doesn't matter much. Remember, these cars have all got balanced performance applied to them. They all have very equal performance. The outlap right now.
Whitford and Dentist are back out on track.
Yeah, a bit slidey towards the final corners right now. I need a bit of tuning out in the setup. I believe he starts his first timed lap now. He's across the line. He's now
Welby and Higgins have joined the server.
not everyone's set times yet. Yeah, for the technical T4, there's another slow corner off camber, very hard to get the power on. Well, again, there's corners. A lot of corners, in fact, just seem to bite you if you get the power application wrong. So you've got to be very careful while putting the power down. Head towards fast turn 8. Heads down towards now the turn 12. E13 goes a bit off the track. Not a very good idea for your lap times. Jensen comes down, barreling behind him. Right now the order is Dentist, Jensen and Whitford right now in the top 3. The only people set for time so far in this practice session. As Chris now heads down towards the start-finish straight. Tom getting a big old slipstream then from the car behind. He puts himself 7 seconds behind. Thomas is actually going for the overtake in the practice session. Gets past him safely, it seems. Tom Dentist is now starting another flying lap. Once again, heads towards turn 8 now. See if he can improve towards the end. Gets near the end of the sector. Flying slower. A tiny bit. Oh, loses the back end though. That's not good for your times. As you can see, the McLaren's tendency to bite on corners comes out into play there. Mark is set to improve his first sector time right now. Still off the pace, but is faster than he was before. He's looking to try and get closer to the top 2.
And then just losing almost 3/10 in the second sector.
I believe that's where he had a slight issue with going.
Yeah, he did have a bit of hose there. Oh, he still manages to improve his time overall.
Yep, he's
8 thousandths.
Mark Whitford goes across the line. What time can he set now? He gets a... He improves himself to second place. So it's now on Jensen to see if he can improve his time up. Remember, it's practice, so maybe Jensen will decide it's not worth going out. Maybe start doing some long runs to get some ideas of how the tyres work. It's not all about lap times right now. It's about understanding the car and learning how the car reacts. Chris Spur is now starting another hot lap again. Still a few cars are sitting in the pit lane right now.
Dentist improves in the first sector.
Yep, by a tiny margin. This time no such issues going around the turn 9 area as he heads into turn 10 now, so this should be a faster lap. He's still half a second ahead or more than the rest of the field right now.
Oh, he goes off into the grass a bit.
Don't need to affect him too much, so he heads into the sharp braking zone of turn 12.
Almost a 10th lost through that sector.
A very hard sector, similar to yesterday's commentary on the Suzuka races, similar to chicane. On there, you'll lose a lot of time and get that area wrong, and it's one of those sectors which you need to get right to break a lap. Heads towards the final corner, he may manage to make it up though through the S's, but we'll find out very soon as he banks off into the pits. Very close to the walls there.
Jensen's improved on his personal sector too.
Still quite far off the pace though. I think Jensen's either running on the quali setup or he's just faster than everyone right now. That is no one's getting near his lap time. Comes Jensen himself up a bit, I believe.
Yeah, he moves himself up into second position.
He's going to keep going. It seems that Tom is probably running quali lap because he seems to do a hot lap and then back into the pits again. So he may be running low fuel while everyone else is doing long runs. Because obviously you can't do that many laps on a low fuel setup. You do about 1 or 2 and then you have to do it. Meanwhile, Mark Whitford is fast as the sector 1 personally. Still 0.2 off Tom Dentist's time right now though. And he making a little difference up in the second sector. Heads around turn 11. Uses all the curb he can. Now heads down once again towards the sharp braking zone of turn 12.
Higgins starts his flying lap.
Mark Whitford improves his second time. He's looking a lot closer than Benson is though to Tom Dentist, but he's still a couple of attempts behind. He needs to eke out those last remaining half second.
Jensen also improving on his personal sectors.
Mark Whitford now pushes himself up to P2, still nearly half a second off the pace though. Tom Denton has put out a really quick lap, it seems. No one's getting close to him. Thomas Denton crosses the line
So
now.
we don't know how much fuel they're on, obviously.
That is a point. Don't know how much fuel he's using. He could be using not much, he could be using lots of it, we don't know that. Still a couple of people in the pit still. We'll get to set times. See if Thomas can improve his first sector now as he crosses the time. He does improve. Personal fastest sector 1. Dragos by.
No, Dragos does a 140.5.
He slots himself into P4 right now. That's, I believe, his first flying lap he's done. So
Higgins come out to the finish line now.
he slots himself into
It was a
P5.
141.
Anton Kovalainen starts rolling up the pits. Since track's going to get very busy starting soon, so he will want to try and make sure there's a lot of space up to get a good lap in. As Thomas Jensen now goes past the final corners. Otworth dives into the pits. So does both of them dive in the pits now. Gentis has got fastest sector 2 overall. He's once again looking to improve his times up. Right on board with him now. He's going to cross the line now. Let's see what he can do now. Doesn't improve his time.
Not quite.
Getting close though. He's getting consistency up, which is a big point on this track. Would be consistency. A lot of people now setting fastest personal bests. Chris is now going to cross the line. Let's see if he improves himself. He improves his lap, but doesn't move his position up though. Steve Higgins has also improved both his sector times.
Dragos stuff into the pits.
Stephen comes on through the final corners now. He puts himself up into. Puts himself up to P4. Kovalainen is now going to start his flying lap now in the McLaren. He's going to be an interesting person. He was very quick last season. Towards the end of it, he's switched to the McLaren this season. He was driving the Audi last season.
Tom Dentist has improved in sector 2.
Kovalainen moves now through turn 4 as he now heads down towards the straight. That was not really a straight, he has a kink in it, but let's see what he can do in that car. Looks very quick right now.
Dentist improves his time slightly, and he doesn't know what brake pedal is for, and he goes off into the gravel.
Kovalainen sets his first time in sector 1. It's 1.1 second off the pace right now. Again, we don't know what setup these guys are running, if they're running qualies or not, so we don't know if these places are actually representative of qualifying coming up in about 40 minutes time, so we can't look too far into this. He heads now towards turn 12. Still a few people yet to set times yet. A lot of people seem to be diving in the pits to get that pit stop practice now. So that's going to be very important.
Yeah, Wetford is into the pits right now.
Kovalainen puts himself P4. Right now, the fastest of the people outside the top 3, obviously. And he's still 3 seconds off the pace. He's actually 3 seconds dead off the pace right now.
Looks like Whitford is doing some start practice. Oh, there's a pit lane.
Chris is now having another stab at it, trying to get, if he can improve his time right now. He's got his personal best in sector 1, personal best in sector 2. Can he keep it going now for the final sector? He moves around the Audi S's, heads towards the T14, last 2 corners of this circuit. Can he make anything happen?
Haynes starts his first hot lap. Meanwhile, Dragos also improving through sectors 1 and 2.
What's the line? Where he put himself? He does not improve his final sector. He's still 4.7 seconds up. He's going very slow for the final 2 corners. Thomas Jensen is now seems to be putting the laps, and he's now put a global best sector into sector 1. He keep it going though. He's going to have to be careful. Mark Woodford is ahead, luckily by just enough.
Dragos improves and takes 5th.
Thomas Jensen is fastest in sector 2. Looks like Thomas Jensen has finally got going the same sector as Dentist and is going to try and beat his time. Mark Woodford gets out of the way. He knows that Jensen's on a quick lap, doesn't interfere with him. Final 2 sectors. And Jensen beats.
Verlainen improves by 2/10.
Jensen now heads towards the final corner. Can he improve his time? Can he get the best right now? He's P3 right now. He puts himself P2. Does not quite improve just enough in the final sector. Dentist holds on to his lead by not very much, if at all.
Gets very, very close.
Steve Higgins now sets it up, but he's gone off. He's in the gravel. In the gravel. That must be very annoying for him now. You're setting a personal best in sector 1.
He takes 7th.
Another news, Tom Dentist is now setting another faster sector 1 time. It's faster than what Thomas Jensen managed to do earlier. So he looks like he's going to push the boundary once again, move the goalpost to the harder points so Thomas cannot hit them. Improves in sector 2 as well. He's down at the final sector. It's the point where Jensen fell apart. Let's see if he can keep himself and get the overall push the boundaries further.
Verlainen also improving his personal sectors 1 and 2.
This is the final exit, the final corner now. Can he improve his time? Can he get the fastest on the server by quite a bit? He doesn't. He doesn't get faster. People seem to be really struggling in the final sector. And I'm going to make to say it's probably sector turn 12 and 13 which people are struggling at. Timothy Haynes sets a personal fastest sector 1 time in the Porsche. Heads down towards the other sector, improves in sector 2 as well. Oh, we've got the final 2 corners to go now. Right now they're sitting P7th in the order. I hope to try and move up a bit further than that. Crosses the line, he puts himself P5. 2.6 seconds off the pace. But still a good improvement from him. Speaking of the fastest lap right now, Tom Dentist wants to get on another fly. He is determined to get faster than he was before. Got a bit of traffic up ahead of Dendrel, the Bentley, other Bentley. There's 2 Bentleys right now. Improves in both sectors. Can he? Oh! This goes a bit sideways there. Might have compromised Dentist a tiny bit. Lucky there's no contact there, but I might have shaken Tom a bit too much. May have lost a tiny bit of time, because this is a very small difference between times right now. And he calls it off into the pit now. Wolby is now finally setting a timed lap as he's out now. There's the second lap, he's already set one. Himself P9 right now, which is quite far off what he would normally want to run. He's normally known to be quite a quick one of the upper and the midfield, but right now he's not hitting that. At the same time, Mark Whitford is also improving his personal sectors right now. Maybe he can move up right now. He's about half a second off the pace right now, but he doesn't seem to be doing the quality runs that everyone else is doing right now. Well, into sector 2 now. Enters the final sector now. The Audi S's. The Audi S. S's S. Moves through the final 2 turns. Can he improve his time? Doesn't look like he's going to get near the top 2 right now, but he will get closer. Doesn't improve his time. Again, it seems to be the final sector, so they seem to be catching people out. People cannot seem to improve their times right now. Oh, and Mark hits the barrier. He loses it.
Landau takes 7th.
Hines goes a bit wide and he forces that. Higgins, personal fast in sector 1. We've got nearly hitting the 30-minute mark of this practice session. Which is sector 2 time as well. Final 2 corners now. Can he get close to the time he wants to set? He improves himself up to P5. But Whitford through. I don't know if Whitford's on the timed lap or not. No, he's not. Whitford's on the out lap. So obviously he decided that there's no point holding him up. He's quicker than me. Might as well let him through. There's a bit of a back end then, but there's not much going on track right now. People seem to be doing out laps right now. Speaking of that, Tom Dentist, fastest sector 1 time. He's once again on it. He's trying to push that boundary up, make it harder for the others to hit. He's very determined to keep it that way.
Would be very interesting to know what fuel loads both Toms are running right now.
Fastest sector 2. Can he not lose it now in the final sector? This is the area where people seem to be losing all their time right now. Looks very clean right now as he heads into the final 2 corners. Bit twitchy down the back end there. Oh, not quite as stable. Maybe you'll adjust that for the race. Looks like he's going for it. Will he improve his time? Yes, he does. By 0.003. He's determined to keep that lap going, and I believe he's going for another lap. Obviously, he feels like he has more fuel in the tank. He's got more to give out of that car. Oh, and he spun. He hits the wall. Hits the curb, I believe, and just spins out. He hits the curb. He spins out on the curb. The Maka kicking out. Bendraws going for another fastest lap. Can he improve himself? No, he cannot. Loses seems to have lost of time there. Final sector. Steve Higgins, though. No, again, another fastest sector 1 time. the times seem to be coming down as people are getting more and more used to the cars, slowly tuning the setups out, people having a bit more experience on the track. A bit loose then. Will he abort? No, he doesn't. He decides to keep going, believing he may have a bit more time left to give in the car. We can do here. Lose a lot of time in Sector 2, Sphinx, I believe, that mostly because of his slight loss of control there. He hits now.
Quiverline is improved in Sector 1.
Now, less than a second down the leaders now in Sector 1, but he's now lost a lot of time in Sector 2 it seems. Compared to the leaders. The leaders seem to be in a class of their own right now in terms of pace. Both Tom and Thomas seem to be, no one's getting near them, so unless they're running quality laps and everyone else is just not right now, it will be interesting to see once quality comes around.
Of course, it's a shame we don't have fuel information available to us, because that would be very insightful, but nothing we can do about that.
I think we can do that. I don't think they have very much in real motorsport either. It's always a bit of a
No,
mystery.
not really.
Coverline's got a bit of traffic up ahead of him in the form of Dendrew in the Bentley. Will he get close enough to effective lap, or will he be able to actually use it for a draft? This is a sector where he could use the draft. Mark Whitford's coming up very quickly behind as well. Improves in Sector 1. Getting very close now to the back of the Bentley. Will this compromise his lap or not? Let's find out as he heads towards the very sharp turn 12. Heavy braking point. Things are lost all his time now. Seems to have...
Jackals made a mistake and slowed.
Dendrew loses the back end again. But still is in front of Coverline. And Coverline, I'm assuming, has aborted his lap at this point.
Dentist improves his Sector 1 once again.
They need to get out of the way though, because Whitford is coming very quickly behind them. Dendrew pulls into the pit, but Coverline's going for another lap it seems. Because now Mark is going to be on a quick lap as well. They're both on quick laps now. Let's go back to Tom Dentist as he once again improves the Sector 1 as he said before. Will he improve his Sector 2 though? Yes he does, by 0.003. They're really going for it. They're trying to find every bit tenth they can find on this track.
Nygaard starting his first hot lap.
Yep, he is a late joiner it seems. I mean, not late in terms of we know he's coming, but late in terms of actually getting onto the server. Tom Dentist does not improve his overall time. Leads pulled off. Overlinen. Still got Whitford behind him. Now, if it's going to, the question is Whitford going to be annoyed by us or not? Maybe using it as a bit of practice for the racecraft himself. Oh, Coverline loses the back end a bit. Whitford may get past as they go side by side. And Whitford gets in front. Bit of racing there. Yeah, it's only practice. It doesn't matter too much.
Nygaard is 1.6 seconds off in Sector 2 so far.
My god, he's a quick driver. Let's see if he can get anything together. This is his first time lap. Doesn't look like a very quick lap right now, though. But you don't know. Maybe he's got some more in the bag later once he starts lowering the fuel levels down, gets a bit used to the car, and starts getting. Remember, he won the checkered flag race yesterday in P2, so
He did.
he's going to have a lot of confidence coming to this race now after that win. But again, different cars, different class. He may not be able to transfer his skills over. Here's another one of these drivers which went from the Audi over to the McLaren, back from a mid-engine to a mid-engine car, I meant.
It's interesting to see a gap between third and fourth.
Yeah, there's quite a big gap there. There's a gap between second and third right now, but again, we don't know what Whitford's running in terms of time. Robert Nygaard sets his personal fastest sector 1 time. Whitford maybe still running his longer stint setups. Remember, he is not too fussed about being behind Kovalainen for a couple of laps, so he may decide that he was just going to do some race stints, get some practice in with traffic. There will be a traffic on the circuit. It's quite a busy circuit right now. Not right now, but...
Chris Bow has also improved in Sector 1 and 2. Let's see if he can get out of 10th position. He takes 9th.
Nygaard improves in Sector 2 as well, and heads to the final 2 corners now. See how quickly he can push that car for the final start, finish straight, exit the class corner. He's going to see what he can do now. Doesn't improve his final sector, but he puts himself 1.8 seconds behind the leaders right now. Still got a long way to go to catch anyone of them. Haynes sets a personal fastest sector 1. Sector 1 seems to be a sector most people seem to be able to get fairly consistent for that sector, but it's the rest of the sector when it gets a bit more technical that people seem to struggle a bit more. And again, I'm going to say this again, final sectors where people are losing a lot of time. A lot of very tricky corners there which you have to get right to get a good time. Oh, someone's hit the wall. Can you tell who it is? Might be Chris Burr or Mark Whitford. They're both very close together, but I heard an impact. If he managed to cut.
Maybe it was Drago's bike. I don't know if he was close to where your camera was, but he just went into the pits while he was on an improving lap, so could be.
Timothy Haynes puts himself P5. That's a substantial improvement for him as he moves up a position. Kovalainen is now being pushed back to P6. Max getting very busy at some points now. Someone else, I think, just had an incident as well. Or just making noises. People seem to be very quick on returning back. A couple of packs of cars together.
Whitford and Bow still doing race practice, getting very, very close.
Woolbury set a personal fastest sector 1 time, 1.4 seconds off the pacer in the sector. "18 minutes left in the session."
Haynes has also improved his personal first sector.
Woolbury set the fastest now into the final corner now. Can he improve his time? He's running on P8 overall. Can he move up to P7 maybe? Let's find out as he crosses the line. Improves his time, but does not get any higher up the order. Jeffrey Haynes is also looking to improve both sectors. A big butt gaggle of cars there right now altogether. He doesn't improve either.
He did improve, but he He both his time, not his position.
And he's in the
Oh,
gravel.
and he's off into the gravel.
I believe so did the car behind him. Tom Dentis went in the gravel, but I believe he's after he set another lap out.
Sebastian Bruni is out on track. He hasn't set a time yet.
Yep, Sebastian should be one of the quicker ones. He should be with around Whitford. He's been very quick so far in practice sessions. So we've got Victor Berlin's also on the server now. He's not out on track yet, but he is on the server.
Bruni, you're aboard his out lap.
Of course, it's out lap. He's just sitting there at the track. That's not a good place to be. I mean,
He's not sitting on the track like a certain YouTuber.
But I mean, so he's got something wrong with his setup or something. He's just sitting on the edge of the track.
Not sure.
Let's look at Victor Berlin now, as he's not on his outlap as well. Now he's doing very well in the championship compared to his second season actually. Doing very poorly that season. This season a lot better start, though he has been known to be a bit aggressive at some point. So stewards are having a keen eye on him. That's if he will have a bit more restraint when it comes to overtaking maneuvers. But don't set the fact that he is a quick driver sometimes, and if you can get past those small flaws, he can be very good. Sebastian, still on the side of the track, just sitting there, as we enter the final 15 minutes of the session. Now coming to the fastest. Speaking of fastest sector, Kovalainen has the fastest sector 1 time. Sebastian still has the track.
Victor starting his hot lap. Sebastian is still on track, not sure what's happening there.
Been there for quite a while now, so maybe he's got an issue with something. The equipment broken, maybe his pedals not working.
Maybe someone rang the doorbell and he had to go downstairs very quickly. Could also be.
Linen sets personal sector fastest. Sector 2. In his last 2 corners now, can he improve? He's right now seeing P6.
Bernie is back in the pits.
Bruni's back in the pit. Will he improve his time? Improves. Yes, he does. Puts himself in P5.
Dendau has improved in sectors 1 and 2.
Victor Berlin appears to have bought his hot lap. There's 3 cars right now which have not yet set laps, it seems.
Yes, those are Victor Berlin, Sebastian Brunier, and Dragos White.
Dragos was out earlier.
Right, but he hasn't set a lap yet.
He was out early, he had a timed lap earlier, but I think he left the server and he's back on it. Oh, Andrew loses the back end, Samson will be very careful. That's one of the spots we talked about earlier, we're back in terms of losing the rear end. He is so easy there. Kovalainen, once again improving his times, he's trying to move up the order. His probably main target to try and get close to is Robert Nygaard, being very evenly matched right now in terms of overall pace. Let's see if they can get closer to each other right now. Moves to sector 2 as well. That's the final sector, the time where everyone's losing a lot of time, and he can't get anywhere close to where he wants to be.
Burnier's out again, so he appears to have solved whatever issue he had.
Yep, and so is Dragos Barb, he's also out now as well. Back. Victor's still in the pits though. As watch Kovalainen come across the line now, and he improve his time. He does, puts himself P4, he's now ahead of Robert Nygaard. Sebastian is definitely out on track right now, as we can see here. He's going to soon probably start his first hot lap of the session. In the top 3 though, very just much as sitting in their pit boxes, not really seem to need to go out. Or trying to take a little break and make sure they don't get too burnt out before the race. Remember, it is a 25-minute qualifying session followed by a long 60-minute race. Actually now starts his first timed lap as Kovalainen also starts a faster sector.
Maybe we could go on board with Sebastian.
We'll go on board.
So a full lap of the circuit from the driver's seat.
Well, from the dash at least, because that's the best we can get right now as we go around towards turn 6, towards turn 7 now. That's what we head to the semi-hard braking point. You've got to tap the brake very much around here. Turn 8, end towards turn 9. This is the end of the first sector now. 1 second of the pace now. It heads into the turn 9 and 10 complex, I like to call it. Pops up a bit, goes quite deep then, but get the power down. Then you head towards turn 11. Yeah, another.
Kovalainen takes a few tenths of his time.
Powers out towards turn 12. The sharp right-hander. Brakes hard around, take a big chunk of the curb out. Go around the Audi S. You've got 2 more turns now. You've got to use all that. Be careful on the final curb. Brake just past the 50-meter board. Car gets a bit loose. You get a bunch of grass there. Sebastian's up. It looks a bit loose right now as he enters the final corner now. Goes down the long straight on the circuit. It's a very, very straight straight, and he puts himself P9. That's not a lap he would be particularly proud of. He wants to be higher than that. This round will never go. Sebastian's from that lap there, it looks very much the car's very loose. Don't look like it had a lot of grip. He wanted to. And we're now under 10 minutes now of the session left before qualifying gets underway. So with these current times, the current thing, I know we can't read too much into it because it's practice, but do you think this is very close to the final order we're going to see, or do you think certain people are going to get higher up the order than they are right now?
Well, so it'll be interesting to see if Brunier improves. I definitely think he's capable of more than his current position. But other than that, it's seems pretty much how we expected it to be. It'll be interesting to see if maybe Jensen can get closer to the dentist, but we don't know what's going on this field there, of course.
The dentist seems to be right now very much got control of this session right now in McLaren. He seems to have got that car hooked up, and he's just getting all the performance out of it. 136.430. Still the quickest car on the circuit right now. As Sebastian crosses the line, he'll put himself up into P8. Still quite far off the pace. As Victor Berlin comes out in the last couple of minutes or so, you honestly expect him to be higher up, as Kovalainen now moves up again.
Yeah, maybe he's having a bit of a setup issue, or he just hasn't done a lot of practice. I'm not sure, but should be capable of more than this.
Hits the red line there. Kovalainen's looking to improve his time again. Also, Robert Nygaard is also trying to improve his time as well. So both of them trying to battle the McLarens here. Not really the fastest car is a McLaren, but 2 McLarens going. He loses quite a bit of the grass then. The car gets a bit loose to the exit as he goes across the line now. What time would he set? Lose down the first sector. Robert Nygaard, he banks off about as well as that. Through. I've got Mark Whitford. Let's see if he can get closer to the top 2.
Jogger's Wipe moves up into 10th. I think Robbie moved up into 8th there.
Grenier moves himself up again to P7 now.
Berlin still hasn't set a lap. Let's see if he can finish this one.
Wilfred doesn't lose improving any time. Let's have a look at Victor Berlin, who's now on his. I believe this is one of his first, but he's really struck at laps out. So far, the only person to not check a lap yet, the session with 6 minutes to go.
It'll be interesting to see where he ends up. What are your predictions?
I mean, this lap doesn't look very good right now. He's got a bit of grass and he's 1.5 seconds, 1.1 second on pace, sorry. Right on board with him right now. You see the Sebastian's car ahead, and Sebastian has improved his sectors. Let's see if he can get closer. He loses the back end and the car snaps. Car does not look very stable at all right now. Bad time to find this out now. There's not much left to practice left. 1.9 seconds off the pace in sector 2.
Oh, we don't know how tricky the last sector is, so let's see where he ends up.
It's not been a very clean lap for him right now as he enters the last final 2 corners here. Again, the cars seem to be very tail happy right now. But so Sebastian goes off, has a big off moment there. He's in the grass. And what time do we get? We get goes himself up to P9.
Yeah, he should be able to do more than that, but his setup seems a bit loose.
Nygaard's improved his first sector now. But Swiffer behind him, carrying on to get faster. Maybe add a bit of pressure, we don't know, but we're trying to look to get ahead of Kovalainen now. Closest rival right now on track. Loses out in sector 2.
Welby improves his first sector.
Final 2 corners now, Nygaard. Can he make up for the lost time in sector 2? It's fine, okay. Did he back out? He does back out. Well, he just lets Whitver through. We'll see what happens with that lap. Walby. I was like, yeah, that's me.
Jorgen Wobbly.
Can he improve himself? He's P10. He puts himself back into P8 again. I think he's a spot he's destined to be in right now. Chris is once again saying fast, but can he get out to the bottom? He wants to get himself into the top 10 right now. Across the line now. Does he improve himself? No position improved for him. As we enter the final 3 minutes of the session, I think most people have hit their limits now. Not much going on. Jensen go board to this lap. And most of the people are being settled into the positions they are right now. Looking around at the off the spectator tool, there's not much going on right now. There's a lot of people out on track, but not many people setting faster sectors. A lot of people just seem to be getting the laps out, getting some practice, which is what the session's all about. The next session
no one's setting a faster sector at the moment.
A few more people haven't hit. Says that. Victor Berlin That's a personal fastest sector 2. And now he improved in the last sector. He's got Robert right behind him. Robert is right now P5 overall.
Robert is not on a fast lap, so
not impede him. But I don't know, maybe there's the pressure of the car being behind him. But Berlin's car still does not look stable. The back end's all twitched out there, and his car, he puts himself at the P9. But that car does not look suited at all for this track. Just the back end just looks like it wants to just flail around all the time. I don't know if it's set up or him driving. Bit of curb then though.
Meanwhile, Kevin Neff has joined the server. It's a bit late, but
He's still in time for drive racing. That's the main point.
just about.
The final minute of the session. Sector 1 time. They've got Robert behind him, hounding him on. Cruising sector 2
Still 1.7 seconds off. Not sure what Nygaard is doing behind him.
Getting some practice. Hounding him on, trying to get him to go faster. As he doesn't improve his time. There's 5 seconds left of the session, and looks like it's pretty much over now. End the session now. Head into the driver's brief. I'll quickly hop into them and see what's going on.
There he is. Right, so welcome to Zandvoort, everyone. As you may have noticed, this is a very tricky track. There's a lot of grass around the outside, so if you get one wheel on the grass and brake, it can end in a disaster. There's a few curbs in the first sector. They're so very dangerous to get onto if you're on the power. Some of you might have already hit the wall. So definitely try to avoid those, especially in the first few laps, because you don't want to cause a chain reaction, and especially don't want to ruin your own race, of course. As usual, in the first lap, just take it easy. There's no need for heroic moves. As long as just if a move requires someone else to avoid you, it's just too much. We don't want those kind of moves in our league. Just try to keep it clean. Of course, as always, we have 2 times fuel. So for a 1 hour race, you will have to pit for fuel. So if you haven't done any pit stop practice, make sure to do that in quali still, because the pit entry is quite difficult. I think there's not much more. Otherwise, then unless someone else has some advice.
Nope, nothing to add.
Nope, thanks, Tom.
Alright, and everyone is free to start qualifying. Good luck.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. Now is Tom Jensen, captain of the league, doing the driver's brief. And I'll hop on board with Mark Whitford on his outlap.
Yeah, we've got some interesting rumors regarding Mark Whitford. He hasn't done a low fuel time in practice.
So I might explain the fact that he's nearly half a second or more off pace right now. Let's see what we can do together now with both been qualifying, where everyone will be running low fuel. At least mostly everyone. I believe Mark Whitford is the person currently has his first in track position right. Everyone starts rolling in. Apart from Neff right now, everyone else is on track. A 14-car field right now. As he enters the final couple of turns now, Mark, with the first one lap of this race so far.
Actually, would you mind if I go grab a drink again?
Yeah, that's fine.
Maybe you cool this room down a bit.
As we've got Mark Whitford to commentate on now, as he starts his first flying lap of this Zandvoort race. Enters turn 1 now. Will he be able to get anywhere? As he right on board of him for this lap, because why not?
Oh boy.
And he enters into turn 3 and 4 now. This is a very tight section. All walls come very close to you now. Very slow around turn 4. Be careful of the power. Can't lay it down all at once. Use a lot of the curb then. Now goes basically flat out for this right these kinks. Going up towards the fast turn 8. Having braking now into turn 8. Get the car around as he now enter the exit of sector 1. Sector 2 now from turn 9. Hit on the curb. Turn 10. Very slow corner now. Got to get the car around. Turn 11. Be careful on the exit here. Careful that curve. That's sector 2 complete. Now the final sector. Sector which everyone seems to be struggling with. Heavy brake from turn 12 as he quickly turns into turn 13. The Audi S I've been referring to so far. Careful of the power out. Head towards the final 2 turn 14 and 15. Get halfway through this corner, then you can try and flat out the next one if you can. The car set up correctly, you can just about do it. A bit of lift off the power then. Goes down to the final start finish rate. Let's see what time Mark Whitford would put out as the first time lap of the session. Puts himself out as a 1:37.0047. Jensen is faster than him though, going around in both purple sectors. Bengenberg's second person put out over 3 minutes. Times are coming in now, as you can see to the top. Some people have put Panker laps out, some people are very slow. Nygaard's a very slow lap right now. See what Thomas Jensen can do then. He enters the final corner now. Can he improve? Can he get higher? Then can he get pole position? He goes provisional pole position right now. Tom Dentis also is trying to do the same thing right now. Can he get close? As fast as the sector 2 time overall. He's looking to make up ground as he goes to the final corner now. A bit of puff of smoke. He's like, well, look, that's Higgins in the wall. Higgins has got off though. Luckily, that's not impeding Tom Dentis. Let's see what Tom Dentis goes. Puts a self-position pole. Times will start dropping now as the cars keep going across the line. Goes by fastest sector 1 time. The very large Nissan. Unfortunately, we would have more Nissans running, but the drivers are not available right now due to commitment and just the weather putting some people off, it seems. He goes around now into sector 2 now. Less than a second off the pace right now. It's a lot quicker than it was before, but he loses a bit of time in sector 2. Now enters the Audi S, heading towards turn 14 now for the final 2 corners of this lap. Goes through the final 2 corners now. Can you get close? He's P8 right now. Can you get higher than that? Goes down the start finish straight. Let's see what he can put in his car. He can put it, boost himself up to P7. Got back on board Dom Dentis as he is setting the fastest sector 1 time. Heavy braking now.
By the way. That was
good.
drinks.
You can tell the track was going on right now. There's a lot of stuff going on track right now. As well as Tom Dentis go around the Audi S, head to his final 2 corners. Puts a lot of steering input into the wheel then. Tries to correct the car before it snaps out of control. Final corner now. Nearly flat out through here. The fastest sector 1 and 2. Can he keep going for this lap? Will he put extend his lead. He extends it once more.
You know, Whitford has improved on his Sector 1. His personal Sector 1. He did improve on the previous overall sector, but Tom took that away from him fairly quickly.
Now it's a Sector 2. Personal best again through there. Tom Dentis is flying right now that time. That time is insanely quick. We can get close to it. A lot of cars. As you know, I'm wrong about that. 2 cars. Not all cars have set a time yet, it seems. Higgins, Victor, Berlin, and Nath yet to set time. Mark crosses the line, way puts his car, puts it P3 still. Robert, my God.
Oh, then that was improving, but he had a bit of oversteer through there, so I'm not sure he can improve his overall time.
Robert, my God, looking to improve his time right now.
Oh, then that was off into the wall. And he's back in the pits.
Got heads fine off a couple of corners now.
Curve line improves to Sector 1.
Final corner now for Robert Nygaard. Can he get any closer than he is right now?
Flying improves Sector 2 as well.
Where will he put his car now? Will he put himself into P5 behind Kovalainen? So it's nearly the same order as was before. Let's see how Kovalainen's doing right now. And top on board into the final 2 corners. Past Sector 1 and 2 personally. Nearly flat out. He'll use it just to get round the corner. Very close there, and can he improve the time any further? Not improve his last sector, but I believe that's still an improvement.
Chris Bell also looking to improve, and he does, but he does not improve his position.
Albeit is right now P6, which is higher than his practice session, but maybe because some cars will get set times, or competitive times at least, he is now he loses some time in the Sector 2 it seems. Sector 3 now, can he make it all up in here? Bit of traffic up ahead though. Ventus seems to get another ball, but he gets round. I believe we just lost Irwin there, unfortunately. Shame, he could come back on soon.
What?
Out then.
Oh, sorry.
Not improve his position. Timothy Haynes, looking like he's trying to improve his time right now.
Brunier improves to Sector 1.
Bit of traffic up Haynes Jr. I can just see him through the corners right now. We've got Chris Boot to deal with. Oh, Sector 2 person. Bit of traction there for Haynes as he enters the final corner now. Penny is right now P10. Probably trying to look for higher than that. Across the line, what time did he put himself? He puts himself up into P10 still, does not improve his position. Bastion puts
Brunier moved up into 7th.
And Nath is yet to set a time yet as he enters the last corner. And that Nissan is a big car. You want to see on board on it. It's huge. Compared to the other cars. As he enters the final corner now. Uses all the curb he can. See what he can get himself up to. P11. I think it's very busy with an exit. Cars dashing all over the place. Gotta be very careful about pit exit. Denson's improving his time once again. He's trying to get a bit closer towards Dentis, but Dentis looks like he's very much got this in control right now. That is a shockingly good time for him right now. Loses a bit out on Sector 2. Take a look in Sector 3 though.
Brunier improving in Sectors 1 and 2.
not get any closer.
Oh, Bjorn is off.
Oh,
He's
Bjorn is
into the
off.
wall.
That's a big off. Big off. Just managed to catch the end of that. Just set his fastest sector for Steve Higgins now. Steve Higgins trying to set a fast time. He's yet to do that. Set a timed lap. Yeah, he's the only car left not to set a timed lap. Improves both sectors now. We've got one more sector to go. Just realised that. He's not improving. He's saying it's only time so far. As he enters the final 2 corners now. Thomas Jensen and Robert Nygaard also trying to improve their current times. A lot of people trying to improve their times right now. Moves himself over to P11. Robert Nygaard. Thomas Jensen is getting out of the way very clearly, just letting people know. Don't want to get in the way of people.
Nygaard went a bit off into the grass there. So I think he lost a tiny bit of time maybe. But not too much of an impact.
Not too again, cross the line. Will he get? He needs to get in front of Kovalainen, and that's his plan right now. Will he do it? No, he does not. Let's now hop onto
Jensen personal improvement as well in the first 2 sectors. Coming up to the line now.
Will this be enough? He pulls off. He pulls off the pits.
Self into the pits.
Chris Brewer
Whoa, improves sector 1.
Sector 2.
Sector 2 as well.
And there's a bit of wheel spin. The back end sticks out a lot. Then probably don't want to do that. A bit. You don't try and reduce that, and not make it worse. Going to head towards the 10-minute mark of this session.
Berlin improves his personal sector 1 as well.
Now as he enters, he's getting close across the sector 2 line now. What does he get now? There seems to be a lot. The top 2 are very quick doing the second sector. It seems to be the area where
Higgins is also improving. He's coming up to the line now. See what he does. And he's up into 10th.
Rex Berlin heads towards the start-finish line. Can he improve his time? Moves up to P5, pushing Robert Nygaard down to P6. The McLaren pack is very close right now, it seems.
Oh yeah, all 3 McLarens. Oh no. Tom
Tom.
Dentist in first. The other 3 McLarens.
Sebastian
Very
is trying
close
to
together
this
right
time
now.
again. Through sector 1. Caution front, starting to pull into the pits, it seems. Useful the curve there. Sebastian improves in sector 2 as well. Head towards the final 2 corners now. Again, target pits going
Keeping an eye on the Dentist in sector 1 right now. He improves his time, Tom Dentist in sector 1.
Sebastian improves his time, but does not get any closer. Lock on Tom Dentist right now. Let's get Jip on board, because right now he set the fastest sector 1 time overall. And he improves sector 2. Car's a bit squirmish, it seems, but they can keep it going. Does not gain anything in sector 2, but let's see if we can make anything. Takes a lot of curb then. Heads towards the final 2 corners. Can he make anything happen?
Zandvoort has improved in sector 2. Let's see if he can get out of that last position. I think he did better in practice.
Comes out the final 2 corners. He's now down the start finish. Can he extend his pole time? Yes, he can. He extends it by a couple of attempts. He is going.
No, Zandvoort over the line and does not improve.
Sebastian wants to get on an improved time as well. like anyone get close to Tom right now. Dentist, he's just dominating the session right now. So either Jensen can't get his car around, doesn't have the right setup, or doesn't know the track well enough. Sebastian's been a very surprisingly slow this session. He is behind the 3 mid-pack McLarens right now.
I think Jensen was expecting the Dentist to gain on him in this race. Because of course the Bentley is not not exactly made for this track. It's a very large car, and this is definitely a track that favors smaller, agile cars like the McLaren.
Yeah, he was always. I mean, I think a lot of his competition issues were with the tyres. He said he fixed that, but the question: how much has that fixed? Is it just a placebo thing, which is saying it fixed, but it's not? The car is actually struggling because of it. Remember, season 1 was a while ago. A lot of these people have improved a lot since then. Maybe it's not the best idea to compare them to back then. But Tom Finch's improved his time now. A bit of grass picked up there. It's towards the sector 2 line now, over the little bridge line. Got a bit of traffic up ahead. Hopefully they get out of the way. Luckily he does. Denson improves sector 2, but he's very close to the best time overall. Teams, but he's just not quite there. This will be closer, but it doesn't look like it's going to be quite enough. He's going to make.
Maybe you can still make up the time in the last sector.
Let's find out as he exits the final corner right now. Let's see if we can get any closer. Whitford is behind him as well. Just still not close enough. 2.2 of a second off.
He is getting closer though. Maybe he can still pull something off.
As we enter the final 5 minutes of the session, he just abandons that line. Oh, Whitford loses it. Loses a big lose out there. Managed to recover it. Just lucky didn't hit anyone, but that was a big off then. A bit too much curb. That curb is nasty if you get it wrong. Look at the bit of replay back. Yeah, he definitely did it. If he Haynes, fastest sector 1 time for him personally right now.
Line also improves the sector 1.
Losing quite a bit of time there, it seems. Haynes. I was a bit squirmish now. This track is very difficult to set up from what I remember. You've got to get the balance between. You can't have a too overly stable setup here, because then you just can't get around the corners quick enough. But at the same time, a loose setup just creates a lot of issues here. It's a very hard balance to think. Some people are struggling to find that balance right now. Haynes fails to improve this time. Will be also looking to improve both his sector times now.
Kovalainen doesn't improve.
Other peeling into the pits now, so does Woolby as well.
Wobbly.
Dantas is trying to improve his time, but he's got such a high bar to go now. He can't seem to get anywhere near it right now. But Nygaard does improve his sector 1 time. He's looking to try and get past both Berlin and Kovalainen ahead of both the other McLarens. He needs to try this, because otherwise he's going to start all the way back in P6. Sector 2, does he improve sector 2? He does improve sector 2. Keep up this, he will probably push himself up into P4, but he needs to keep this pace going as he goes out of turn 13 now towards turn 14.
Kovalainen also doing a better lap.
So the battle between the McLarens is getting very tense right now as they're all in very close times. Dennis pulls into the pits. Does Nygaard improve? Let's find out. Plus it's off P5.
Kovalainen going through the last corner now, coming up to the line.
We see him now as he crosses
Does he
the line.
manage to improve? He does not.
The back of the McLaren is really heating up right now as a... Oh, he goes off in the gravel. Thomas Jensen improves Sector 1, does not improve Sector 2. But his Sector 2 loss, though, is very close to the fastest he's done. So, I don't know. I don't know if that's because he's very close to setting the first... he's got the fast Sector 2 time, he's not getting the match up with the last sector. Uses quite a bit of grass on the exit. Can he get anywhere closer now? Still off the pace. Still not improving.
Neff coming through the last corner now.
It's right now P12. Can he get himself move himself up any further? He stays P12. With less than 1 minute and 30 seconds to go, it's getting... Dentis is looking out for another set of laps, it seems.
Yeah, he does not have enough time to finish that lap.
I think this has pretty much set the grid now. Let's just wait and see. Maybe doesn't look like anyone's really saying fast times now. It's a bit too late to set your line up. Even now we can safely say that Tom Dentis is your pole.
Yeah, well, he's off into the grass, so he's not improving either. So I think that's it.
Tom Dentis
Enough
is
time
your
to get
pole
any
sitter
laps
for
finished.
his second pole sit in the McLaren this season. He has 2 pole positions this season. He's got a very good spot now to start this race off with. He's got everything in his favour now. And he needs it because he's got Tom Jensen behind him, who's a very tough opponent, and he's going to be trying to get the jump off the start. He's going to be trying to look for that. Mark Whitford might try and fight him. Don't know about race pace. Great problem. Mark Whitford practices a lot of race pace. Dentis and Jensen a lot of quality pace practice. We don't know how quick they are in this. This could go in favour of Whitford. I don't know.
Yeah, consistency is going to be very important at this track. If you make a mistake, it's not very forgiving, so we can definitely... It's definitely going to be up to both Toms to not make any mistakes. And if they do, that might just give Whitford an opportunity.
That's the chance.
They're going to grab aggressive load. Another glass of water.
Yeah, so you probably need to do it. Hey. Fortunately, starting grid does not work because the Thomas Jensen. So he's starting to line up now. We'll have to take a break about halfway through this race. I'll look then on if we can get
Back just in time, I see.
Oh yeah, just in time as we
there
go
they go.
off. As we go off right now, let's see. As Tom Dentis is just ahead going the first corner. Now he's got the inside line. Tom Dentis trying to get around the outside, but doesn't seem to make it. Meanwhile, there's a lot of stuff going on behind as Whitford loses a place to Kovalainen. Very much getting pounded right now by the Bentley behind. All of them try to feed
Close
through.
battle between Dendau and Higgins right now at the back.
There's a very clean start right now from the front at least. As Kovalainen seems to Whitford and Kovalainen have a very close battle right now. Everyone's very close together.
Well, it seems that Chris Bow has lost it.
Unfortunately, as we now look at Chris Whitford getting very
far
close to the
back.
back of Kovalainen's car. Can he get the inside line? He has the inside line now. Tries to throw it, he's got the inside line again for the next corner. Looks like he makes past, and Berlin gets past as well. Berlin loses 2 positions in that maneuver. And can they keep it going? Because Berlin looking like he's on the charge. Meanwhile, the front runners, Jensen's very close to the back of Dentis. Looking for the move going into turn 12. He decides to do it. No, he doesn't. He slots him behind. I'm going to file through very slowly, trying to find. Dentis is not getting away easy right from Denton. Dentis is not getting easy away from Jensen, and there's a lot of cars still very close to it right now. Gonna head across the start-finish straight right now. Thomas Denton goes across the line. Everyone's weaving across the line. Denton goes for the outside. No, Denton has the inside. No way you can get around there. But Denton loses a bit then. And you get closer now. He's now got this very tight section going quite up right now. Very close to the back of that McLaren. Look, try to find a gap if you can. Very hard to keep track of everything going on. There's a lot of green light marks on my observer thing as we keep watching the leaders right now battling for position. Benson's trying to get close but can't get quite close enough. Enter the second sector now. Lose a lot of curb then. He might have lost a bit more time. No, but this is the first lap of a 60-minute race. They don't use all their tyres up right now. But if they use the tyres up, it does reduce their opportunity for strategy later on. Like River Man's making a gap between the McLarens and the McLarens all fighting with each other. We lost a car. Oh no, it's Robert Nygaard's fault pulling all the way back. That's what I'm getting lost about. He seems to have disappeared all the way to the E13. Can't finish right now. It's your order is Dentist, followed by Jason, Whitford, Berlin, Kovalainen, Brunier, Albee, Bibe, Ames, Nath, Higgins, Dale Drew, Nygaard and Brewer as they all head towards the third lap now of this race. The gap is now extending between the leaders right now as elsewhere on the track Nath is looking very much trying to get back onto Haynes right now. So they can as many positions as possible off the start. This and then
Nygaard getting close to Dendo at the back.
Very close now. Oh my god, it is very close, couldn't think. Hop on the dash of the Nissan nose. It's very close to the back of the Porsche. Loses a bit. Not what he wanted. May get overtaken by Higgins now. He's coming, just loses it there. Nygaard makes the move though onto this in the Bentley. He's now moved up and back up. He's got a long way to go now to get back up to the position he wants to be in. It's a long race, so he's got lots of chance to do so. Higgins,
Meanwhile, Neff and Higgins are side by side.
Just about has the inside line. I mean, Naff does. Just pull out there. Action going all over the place. Let's go back to the leaders now. Tom Jensen is moving up on the back of Tom Jensen. He looks around the outside. Not quite close enough yet to make a move yet. So they continue on each other. Back end of Denton's car gets a bit loose then. They keep the pressure on each other. They're going to keep hounding each other. Again, we don't know. Through race pace, we used to have been a lot of qualifying runs and practice. Don't know if they keep it going over the entire race. Keep closing each other now. This is a point where they got a lot of slipstream now. It's not there. They can't get close enough to put a safe move in right now. Any move he does at this point is just too risky. Don't want to risk the car now. It's still 50 minutes left to go. We've got a long race to go. No point making any risky moves now at this point in the race.
Oh, looks like Berlin is off into the gravel.
Yep, Berlin's off in the gravel. Loses a couple of positions as just gets in front of Bibe now. He loses all the way back now to P7. He was, I believe, P45. So he's now getting pounded by the Audi up behind. This hand does look for the inside line. Berlin does squeeze it very slowly, but does he overcook it? He does overcook it. One car. Get contact. He's round. Berlin is round. He must be kicking himself now because now he's got passed by Nygaard as well, and Nath, and possibly Higgins. Yes, and Higgins as well. He's now all the way back. Now let's go back to our leaders as Jensen is looking for another move on Dentist. He goes round the outside. Can he hold it? He can't. This is getting really close right now between these two. Dentis is probably thinking, when will that Bentley's tyres go? Because he wants them to go quicker, because he's going to be under a lot of pressure now by the Bentley.
Nygaard getting closer to the back of Neff for 9th position.
Over there now, we can see it now. He's gaining, but Nass has managed to break away here. Into the corner now, just a bit too far away for anything to make a move yet. And I believe Ains has just lost the position to Vibe. There's an issue with Vibe's connection. It seems like he's blinking right now, which is making Ains' job a lot harder now. Very close now. Nygaard got qualified quite hard in the order. He does not want to be here. Naff loses a bit of rear end traction then. Loses again on the exit of the corner. On around the final corners once again. What an intense first 10 minutes so far. Pack is not split up as Berlin's looking to make a move. They both go off the track. Risky move then. Gets pushed all the way off the track and Berlin's back up. Both the McLarens, okay, just qualified P5 and 6. Moved all the way back.
Someone's off.
That's lost it.
Can get back on the track before Kisbo arrives. Looks like it.
Got a lot of front end damage there, it seems like one of his lights are gone. Like a happy car right now. Go back onto Haynes right now, chasing down Vibe and the other Nissan. Trying to get closer.
It does look like the dentist is slowly pulling away from Johnson.
Back here with Haynes. Haynes is trying to find a gap behind that large Nissan, but he just can't find. Goes for the late braking. He goes for the move. Doesn't he? No. Just too far away right now to make that work. But the point is, he's starting to show towards that Nissan, saying, "I'm here. Better be careful," because he's getting very close now, very fighty. It does seem that Denton has been pulled out of the 1 second range now. Seem like Denton's trying to pull away now. Pack is slowly being drawn out. After the first time it's slowly calmed down, everyone starts setting their paces in. Haynes is still trying to gain on the Vibe zone.
It is a difficult track to overtake on.
It's a very difficult track. A couple of places you can do it, but it's very difficult around risking your car and the other person's car. As Haynes has another closes in once again on the back of Vibe's car. Gets very close now to turn 8. Get anywhere closer. If we can. Well, the car's behind. Maybe speaking like Jensen has closed in the gap onto Dentist. This is very close right now, goes down the inside, Vibe just cuts him off then. Very close. Can you get the better exit? Doesn't look like it. Vibe's can't go across him yet. Does it? He goes across. Haynes goes to the inside line. Tries to outbrake, they get very close. Bit of ooh, that's a bit close. That's very close between those two. That's not what the Pioneers want to see. Doesn't want to get none of them want to get contact, but getting very close between these two. Go back to our leaders right now as Dentist is slowly trying to pull the gap up. Whitford just behind, but he's just not close enough to get any chance between these two. I'm going to work out which sectors the McLaren is quicker right now, but it seems like a lot of them it is right now.
Kane's getting close to Bibe once again.
Yeah, I'm getting very close to all the slipstream now. Can you make the move into turn 8? Well, have a look for it. He's going to hold back for another couple of turns now. Doesn't want to again. Turn 8 looks like he can overtake, but he just can't the corner. Without having to go do a risky move, you can't overtake there. It's just a bit too risky and you can't do it. He goes for the inside, not there. Bibe's just keeping just enough ahead though, but Haynes definitely has the pace. Just can't get past. And it's the issue of some of those certain tracks, you just can't get past the other person. So Bibe's very slow to that corner. Can he make the move now? Not close enough to get anything done. Very frustrating for Haynes right now, trying to get this move done. Oh, that's just our timing gone crazy, I think. What has it? Oh, lost it. This Tom Denton's right now keeping a very good 1 second clear advantage right now of Jensen. Doesn't seem like Jensen can get close to this point. He decided to pull back a bit and stop where tired that as Haynes gets very close once again. The same section. Can't get anything done. For a while now because where the main action of the track right now is Robert is getting very close. Robert Nygaard and McLaren is getting closing in on both of them. It's visually getting closer now, and it is getting closer. It's now in 1 second range of both of them now. Must be panicking now if you're both of them now. If you've got one of the top runners or the top 5 runners now right behind you closing the gap, and they've got Victor Berlin behind them as well.
It'll be interesting to see if maybe we can get a 4-way battles for 7th right there.
Oh, like Haynes is he wants to get past as quick as possible because the longer you stay behind him, he knows you probably think I have the pace to get round him. Why can't I pass him? Then on the straight now, can he get the slipstream? He's just too far away. Goes for it. Does he look for it? Does he look not a bit late? Still goes for it. Bibe's very slow. Goes wide. Can't quite make it. Every time there's a failed challenge like that, Nygaard is getting closer. Nygaard is now less than half a second behind it was until that corner. Haynes is really wanting to get past now. It's getting a real issue for him.
And well, the gap between Dentist and Jensen appears to be increasing. The gap between Jensen and Whitford has certainly increased.
Look like Whitford can just keep up right now.
It appears Whitford is indeed struggling to keep up.
Right, there's a close battle between these, and remember, 3 of these cars are fighting. Victor Berlin is closing him up, and we know Victor is very opportunistic. If he sees a gap, he'll go for it. And while it may come to his detriment sometimes, it does come in its spades sometimes when you can just, when 2 cars are fighting, you can find a gap, just go through it, and make multiple positions. That's what he's looking for right now. As all these 3 cars are fighting, he's trying to work out when can I get a gap between these cars.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens in terms of strategy here. Will there be different strategies between all these drivers?
Maybe the other two think they can last longer on tires with using that or skill as they all get very close now. Let's get up on board now as they closing. Can you get close enough? Not yet. Still a bit too far. The inner centre is pulling away on the straights. But he loses it. He loses it.
Oh no.
Vibe loses it and he loses 3 positions. Can he get enough time? Don't pull the track like that. Ooh, Higgins just managed to get round. Haynes has now got to try and hope he can go run away from the McLarens now because now he's got Nygaard behind him. Vibe loses it in one of the areas which we labelled out earlier is a risky spot. If you get power 2 down too early, you will spin. There's a massive issue there. Getting very close right now. Oh, at Nygaard's trying to look for positions. He gets very close then. Does he have a bit of contact? All 3 have contact!
Oh, 3!
All trying to spin around, but
Who can
cover
get
the
that?
track. Whitman gets
first.
through! Whitman gets through! Whitman can't believe his luck. All 3 cars. And Bibe's managed to get past both of them. Bibe's managed to regain all his positions back. Nearly. What on earth happened there? In what Haynes has lost all his positions back into P12, but the real gain out of this is Higgins. Can't believe his luck. He's in P7. Needs to keep going.
You know, it appears that Bo is getting close to Dendo.
Well, he had an instant at the start of the race, which is why he's so far back, but he's
Indeed, because Bo spun on the first lap.
Back to Bibe, he's looking the back of Berlin's McLaren. This is not a race I was expecting to see between these two. I was expecting Victor to have a song in the pits. I hear the pit siren going off.
Indeed, it's Haynes. Haynes is in the pit.
Going for an early stop. Watching this now, he's going for an early spot, it seems.
Maybe he'll try to fix some damage.
You keep tracking them. I'm going to keep tracking these races right now, but
Yeah,
has lost.
keep an eye on him.
Bibe's lost the time. Meanwhile, Chris Burt is closing on the back of the Bentley of Andrew, but interesting to happen.
I can't quite tell, but this car is just raced a bit and is now
Tires on.
vibrating all over the place, so I think he's changing tires.
Changing tires. So he's probably decided he's going to fully fuel up, go for tires, and try and go for the rest of the race and jump everyone on the pit stops. Meanwhile, Chris gets round, just around, due to a mistake by Dendrew. So he's now into P12. Now, Chris is trying to...
It's quite difficult to tell, but I do think he changed tires.
Yeah, I believe if the car doesn't raise up, they will change tires.
And it was a fairly long stop.
It's been a chaotic race so far, and it's only 20 minutes in, and we've got another 40 minutes to go. We go back to our leader right now. Tom Dentis is leading the race by a good 3 seconds over Jensen right now, and he's just... There's that, he does lose a bit there, and he loses a lot of time then. Will Jensen get close enough? He gets down to 2 seconds, but he's quite close enough. Whitford is left really far behind right now. Head now to Berlin. He closes on the back of Higgins. Remember, Higgins got these positions by just purely not being in the action, but Berlin really wants to get back up to his position. He qualified, was it P5? Anyway, he was in that gaggle of McLaren, so McLaren's pack is now split up massively due to incidents and collisions with each other, and he's looking to get his positions back on Higgins. Managed to get past Bibe. What he can do now. This is the track where the McLaren does have a quite advantage, because McLaren's disadvantage is straight line speed. We've seen that already in all the high speed tracks. Has Nygaard gone? Like God's retired, it seems.
Yeah, looks like it.
He's retired his car. That's a shame. Either something's issue or his connection's dropped out or something, because he is not there. I'll head back now towards Victor as he charges down Higgins. Something must have happened then. Don't know what it is. He was racing, he was P10? Oh, he decided that something was wrong, he was not happy. Maybe it's the heat getting to people. We don't know. We're going to stop. Sometimes there's a someone else enters the pits now. In the pits now.
It's Chris Bow.
He enters the pits now, and so does Nath.
Indeed, it's enough.
Misses his
Oh,
pits.
he misses his pit box.
Pit box. Must be able to catch that, but it seems a lot of cars in the pits now. Quite early pit window because most of the time people pit around the 35 till about the 25 marker, but this is a bunch of early pit stops. Maybe trying to cover off the strategy by Haynes has done. But it's going to be very interesting how this plays out now as Victor gets very close to the back of Higgins' car.
It looks like both are changing tires.
As Haynes is going to pass both of them, they believe, very soon, judging by the timings. Right on board with Victor Berlin as he tries to chase down Higgins right now. As Haynes passes them both. As
Nav is back onto the track. Let's see where he joins in.
I believe he's a lap down.
He's joined in. Yeah, he's joined in right in front of Welby, but indeed he's a lap down because of that stop.
Goes wide immediately and again, loses it. Hits the barrier. Not the best way to enter the pits. He goes past. Let's head now back to Berlin, who's eager to close in the back of Higgins' car right now. Oh, Victor goes a bit wide then. Loses a bit of time in the back. 5 now also closing in both of them as well. So I might have enough.
Someone's slow. Chris
Oh.
Bow went off again.
Yeah, he's in the thing. As the whip Higgins crew comes through now, he needs to get out of the way of these three. These three are in a position fight. Higgins goes a bit wide. Will Berlin goes to get the gap? No, he just slots in just behind. Goes for the move now. Get past. So close. He's got the outside line. He gets a squeeze Higgins out. Just gets past them.
Looks like he may have a tiny bit of contact there, but nothing that will hurt too much.
No car lost control, but Felix Berlin has made the move. He's now past Higgins. He's now 17 seconds behind Walby. He's now trying to make a gap as much as possible. Bibe is now trying to get to the back of Higgins as well now.
It's been an interesting battle for 7 so far.
7 seems to be the
Not a
spot.
clean one.
Not a clean battle, but a lot's going on then. Really makes it big.
Coming up to some traffic as well. Oh yeah, that's what was spun earlier.
Oh, he loses it. Woo. It's a bit too much curb lane.
Bibe trying to go side by side with Higgins.
So we go back. He makes the move. Does he make the move stick? He does. He gets very close to the back of the Sam right now.
He does appear to have done it.
Good move stick as Higgins comes closer again. Higgins losing a bit of the rear end, and I believe it means Bibers has to move pretty much stuck now. Higgins will try and close the gap on them now, but it looks like Bibers just managed to get away now. Berlin's going to a bit of traffic in the way. Chris, right now, Chris will probably move out the way very soon, but actually closing it. I think that they are close heavily on him, so yeah, much as traffic does impede our leaders.
It looks like Jensen has gained a little bit of time on the dentist. Maybe the dentist made a mistake.
Order is quite shuffled up right now. Some cars are close. Go back to our leader. This is Tom Dentis. As he crosses the line once again, he is maintaining that lead right now, but don't know. Maybe Tom Jensen still has a bit more work to do. We'll get closed up the pit stop window very soon now.
Meanwhile, in the Discord chat, Robert Nygaard has taken responsibility for hitting Thijs Dendau.
That was the incident earlier which allowed Higgins to make his way up to P7, who's now in P9.
Of course, Nygaard has now retired. I'm not sure if he was just frustrated or if he had an issue.
If I was in the regular media, I was like, oh, I want an interview right now, but he probably not in the mood into after that, so I wouldn't ask him for that right now. As the Higgins and Bive have managed to clear the traffic of now, and they have to now move forward as Berlin tries to extend the gap right now between those two cars. Whitford has managed to make a bit of a gap. The grid is slowly spreading itself up, apart from around this sort of area here. This midfield is being really close. Maybe not because it's all being super close. Well, someone else in the pits, I believe.
Yeah, it is Thijs Dendau.
The pits now, he's making his scheduled stop now. I see if he takes Charles or not. You keep track of him, I'll keep track of the battle.
I will keep track of him.
As they keep trying to. These two cars cannot be split up right now.
What happened? What's happened to...
Dentis.
Oh, I think my timing just...
Dentis in the pit. Dentis in the pit.
Dentis in the pit.
Let's see what Thomas Jensen does now. What are you trying to cover him off next time?
Dendau is changing tires.
The main person to keep track of is Dentis, what he does, because this is the first time he's changed the lead. He's now knocked back to third place. Someone else into the pit. I think the pit window is open right now. Who else is into the pit? Trying to work out who's done what. It's
Dentist is changing tires.
Dentist
is changing tires.
Bastion's in the pits. Wolby's in the pits.
Wolby.
A lot of people into the pits right now.
Getting busy now.
Keep a track on right now on Densis to see when he gets out. Victor Berlin inherits third place. A lot of cars are going to be really jumbled up right now. Probably the best idea right now, we keep track of our leader car. We lead the pit. Let's see where he ends up. He ends up P6 right now.
Keeping an eye on those in the pit lane. Krivalainen is changing tires. So is Welby.
Let's see where Thomas Jensen does.
And Bernier.
Jensen is right now. He is entering the final two corners now. Let's see if he pits now. Does he wait to come back? He is currently your race leader at this stage in time. Here he does. He's got. I would try and make a clear gap. Does he go for the pits? Thomas Jensen's entering the pits. Thomas Jensen's entering the pits now. That means.
Let's see if he changes tires.
Just now on track. So let's find Tom Dentis, who is right now.
He's now on the start-finish straight. Oh no, wait, that's
Tom Dentis is entering turn 11 right now. Trying to work out what the order will be now after this pit stop. So look, a lot of pitting going on right now. Cars switch.
Oh, looks like Jensen has not changed tires.
Jensen's out. Jensen's already out. He's jumped Dentist in the pits. Jensen, I believe, will be your race winner now. Will race leader now after Whitford has come out. Whitford has yet to stop. He's now inherited the lead. He's yet to stop. Got an extra 2 laps over everyone else. So let's see what he can do now in his position.
Got an interesting split in strategies though.
Oh,
Jensen has changed.
Denju's
Has
fallen
not
off.
changed there.
Denjun has lost it in turn 4. And he's lost his position on Naf, I believe, who's fighting Naf for a while. Go head back to your current race leader right now. I believe at the end of this, unless Dentist can pull out an amazing comeback, I believe Jensen's strategy has to get him in front of Dentist. Dentist went for the safe option. Jensen, obviously thinking our paces are too similar right now. Let's see if I can keep the running stop and just jump in the pits. He's probably saved a good 20 seconds. Let's find out. He's lost 20 seconds on Whitford, and Whitford's probably should be entering the pits now. Let's find out. He stays out. Whitford is yet to pit. Whitford is staying out right now. Head back over now. The fight between Higgins and Bibe, which is getting very close now. Dentist is now approaching to the rear of these losses as well. He needs to make up time now, especially. He does probably realise by now the fact that Thomas Jenkins is stayed in second position. He probably realises now that he is in a lot of trouble right now. He needs to make the strategy work and use as much of those tyres as possible. And the car to actually watch would be at this point is Dentist to see if he can make it. As Victor Berlin pulls into the pits now, so does Bibe, so does Chris as well. No, just Chris doesn't. Chris just pulls it away. Tom Dentist is
looks like Bibe has spun in the pit lane. He's now reversing into the pits.
Yes, he has.
I'm not sure what happened there.
Oh dear. Right, I gotta keep watching.
He even runs into the little trolley there. Of course, these cars do not have great steering lock.
I'm watching on the back now between Dentist and Higgins. Higgins, remember, is it right now in P3?
Berlin is changing tires, it seems.
I think Jensen's made a lot of time up in here because Higgins is 28 seconds behind Jensen. That means Dentist is 28 seconds behind it as he makes the move there. Very clean move then by Dentist. He just slips at the inside at turn 9. Now he's got to try and make all that time up. He's got to try and make 27 seconds up. This is going to be an interesting final 25 minutes.
Berlin is out onto the track again. Meanwhile, it appears Mark Whitford is into the pits.
I believe it means everyone's been for the pit cycle now. As Bibe is taking a very long pit stop it seems, but
Yeah, he is changing tires. He's turned his engine on again. He is now off. Whitford is also changing tires.
it seems that Jensen is the only one not to change tyres. As may have worked out in
Indeed.
spades. As Tom Dentist inherits second place now from Whitford. He has now got to make up a lot of time now. It's going to be a close fight to the end, I believe. I think Tom might have the pace advantage now, but we need to find out. And we head over to our leader right now.
Whitford rejoins the track.
Has Higgins pitted yet?
Don't think so.
Okay, so he's the only one that's not pitted yet. Which makes sense come positioning then, as the grid has slowly spread out.
I'd imagine he'll be running out of fuel pretty soon.
Higgins will need to pit, and he should pit out near where Bibe is. But Bibe's actually a really bad stop, remember? So the order's completely shuffled up now. I don't know where he goes, so we've got to really watch this battle between Tom Dentist and Jensen, really. So make it a bit early now, but we're going to have the timing thing go down on the middle of the screen just so we can see him closing the gap because he's got 27 seconds to make up. Jensen's probably getting very good on his tyres. As Berlin spun. Berlin spun. No, he
Berlin
didn't
was
pit.
in the pits.
Again.
Did he pit already? I think he did.
Yeah, he pitted twice then. What's going on? As he
Not
stops
sure
him
what
behind
happened there.
Jensen.
He changed tires, so maybe he forgot to add fuel or something. May have been an error there. Though his stops seem to be very short, so maybe somehow
Maybe
drove into the pits accidentally. Not sure.
Miscalculated his fuel, possibly. Maybe realized after a couple of laps, hang on a second.
Higgins is into the pits.
Which means that everyone, I believe, at this point has pitted now. So now it's clearly a race to the finish. As we see where Higgins will end up now as he gets dropped back all the way back. I believe somewhere behind Haynes or in front of Haynes. I think that's where he's going to end up. Right on with Tom Dentis right now.
Higgins is changing tires.
He'll drop back behind Haynes, I believe, or in front of him. Watch this as Haynes comes down. I'll be dropped off very soon now as Haynes comes down the start-finish straight.
His engine has started.
Oh, it's getting very close now. Can he beat him at the pits?
I don't think he will.
Haynes just gets in front. But he is in front of Berlin. He did have to stop twice. I think that second stop has cost him a couple of places now. But, let's see what happens now. The order is completely jumbled up. I have no idea what's going on now. Head on to our race leader right now, Thomas Jensen, who has managed to jump Tom Dentis in the pits. He didn't take tyres. He's risking not having new tyres for the rest of the lap. He's going to have to live on whatever he has now for the rest of the lap. He cannot pit again. If he pits one more for tyres, he will be behind Tom Dentis. Tom Dentis is slowly closing the gap. 20 minutes left of the race. Do you think he can do it?
I'm not sure. I'll have to keep an eye on the times, but it will be a challenge, definitely. Also depends on how far Jensen's pace drops from now.
Getting on the tyre wear at this point. Don't really have that info, so we're just going to have to go by times and just see what happens. We've got 20-minute mark is approaching shortly.
I believe the drop-off point in the tires in terms of wear percentage is around 70%, so I think
He's way over
he'll
that
be...
one.
Yeah.
See. Minutes left to go of this round of Zandvoort. It's turned out to be quite an interesting race between the strategy differences between all the collisions between McLarens. What turned out originally thought was going to be a very simple race to follow has become very...
Yeah, you can say that. Definitely struggling to keep up a bit.
Santos now approaches some traffic now, Vibe in there. And the issue about what's unfortunately happened is because of Vibes' mess up in the pit, all the close battles have sort of disappeared. The real battle right now is...
That is unfortunate. We do have Berlin trying to get past Jansen. Let's see if he succeeds at that. He is sticking very close right now.
It's a fight to get himself unlapped technically, because technically he's...
Yeah.
Not for position, this is perfectly like that. But remember, Berlin's target of Higgins is up ahead. Remember, also, Jensen's going to be very slow now compared to his top laps. He is on definitely worn tyres. As we go on board with his fastest lap was a 37. Let's see what this lap is. About 2 seconds slower now a lap compared to his fastest. This is not actually that good of a sign for Dentis, who wants to be closer. Thomas Dentis is not losing enough time yet. His strategy may have actually worked off for him.
Still 18 minutes to go in the race, so enough time for Jensen to make a mistake.
Gap is definitely closing though, but will it close quick enough? I am starting to think it won't, but we don't know. Those tyres may just give up at some point. You may just have to. The car just spins out or something happens because. Remember, Tom Dentis has been faster all race so far. He has proven that he's the quickest driver on the track right now. But can he just keep that pace up now?
It will be interesting, of course. Jensen's pace will be dropping as the tires wear further. Meanwhile, Dentis is on newer tires, and of course he's also burning more fuel, so he will be on low fuel pretty soon.
Right on board then of Dentis as he enters tank 12 right now. Yeah, yes, he is going to be on a charge at this point. What's just to go with Jensen and Victor Berlin? Has Berlin passed yet, or is Jensen still in the way?
Berlin has not passed him yet. They are still very close though. So it seems that Tom Dentist is closing at about a second a lap right now. So 16 minutes left in the race, and at the moment he is 15.4 seconds behind. So it could be very close.
Board now with him as he goes through a lap with that timing bar down the bottom to see how close they're getting.
Also, interesting to keep in mind is that Berlin is still trying to get past, so
That's going to be interesting.
he might just get in the way.
Is Oh, has been an issue with back. Well, there's been a place change as the back is having a fight between Crisper and Ooh, as they're having a fight now, right to the back. Ooh. Having a fight very close. I know I want to keep focusing on the leading fight, but this is also very good racing now as these two have finally caught up with each other. Last 15 minutes of the race, we've got a quarter of the race left to go now. And Chris, hold on.
Victor Berlin is trying to go for a move on Thomas Jensen into turn
He
1.
makes it, he makes it.
He makes it.
Does it? How much time?
Dentist getting a lot closer now. So I do think he got held up a bit there.
Victor Berlin's going to be like a charge now to get back to Higgins, but he's unlapped himself now, so he's now no longer a lap down. Tom Dennis is definitely closing that gap down now. Definitely closing down now as Tom Dennis has been passed now by Victor. Let's see what his lap time now. Remember, his fastest lap of the race was a 37.4. Good to see how much time he is now losing per lap after this lap does. He goes through turn 13, towards the final two corners. Victor goes very wide then.
To the grass.
Taking a roll of defensive line now against Jensen. Jensen does not want this. Oh, he just drops back. Not what he wants. He doesn't want
Jensen
to
gets
deal with.
past.
Does not want
Again, losing time to the dentist.
This is exactly what Jensen does not want. He does not want this traffic there. He wants to be able to have a clean lap where he can, while be slower, still pushing clean lap. But Victor is not letting that happen. Victor is adamant to get close to Higgins right now. That's his goal. He wins that race, and he's just seeing Jensen as in the way right now.
Yeah, he will be trying to overtake again.
Victor is definitely the faster car right now, but it's just a case of how can you do it clearly? He gets very close here. Hop on the back rear wing of the Bentley. See that McLaren get very close to the back of it now. Dentist is under
Meanwhile,
10
Dentist
seconds.
is within 10 seconds now.
With 10 seconds.
8 seconds between them.
Oh, Bentley stops. Bentley stops on the track. Oh, he's in the pits. I think there's another retirement, unfortunately. I think this Denver has retired from the race. I don't know why. It didn't fuel because lights were off on the side of the track.
That is interesting.
Well, how much defense Thomas is picking up right now, because again, he does not want to be in this fight. He wants Victor to go, and I believe in the background I just saw that is Tom Dentist's car. They are now visually in range, I believe, now, each other. They are. It is getting very close now. Tom Dentist is definitely on the charge at this point. He is trying to close as much as possible around him. I believe he's actually finally set a faster lap now. He's got the fastest lap of the race right now. 10-minute mark, very quickly approaching now. Dentist just needs to be very careful not to do anything wrong. He just needs to keep going, keep setting his pace. He's got very good pace right now. Make sure he doesn't silly. And he just needs to hope Victor keeps fighting, because I imagine Tom getting very annoyed right now with Victor right now because of the whole shenanigans that have been going on with him. He's not going to be very happy about this at all. We now approach the 10-minute mark of the race. As you can definitely see now, both in visual range, they're down on the same bit of straight now. I think Dentist may be close enough now. You can probably smell the exhaust out of the Bentley as he goes around these tight corners now. But remember, Victor is in the way. Victor, why maybe the issue with Tom Jensen, may also be the saviour of him, because Berlin's not going to get his position away to Dentist, I don't think.
That is true.
He may be a thorn in the side of both of them. Maybe a blessing and a curse. We'll see. Maybe why Jensen's been so unrelenting to keep him behind him. Maybe he wants to keep him as a buffer zone. We'll see as they come into 9 minutes now of the race. As Victor gets very close to the back of that Bentley. Bentley gets a bit loose then from what I saw.
Dentist getting within the 5-second range now.
Yeah, he's just coming over the hill now into sector 2 now. Oh, Jensen's off. Jensen went in the gravel bit and Victor gets past. Oh, this is now getting very tense now between the two.
Dentist can smell the opportunity.
He's now got no Victor to block him at all. He's just got to make the move now. The bad news is that Bentley is very easy to make a wide car. It's it is the largest car right now, and I'm not going to be surprised if Thomas makes that car very wide and very hard to get past. I think it's going to be very annoying for Jensen as well, because Victor's not actually pulling away enough. May have got close to Higgins now, but they're not far enough away yet to be really not an issue anymore. I actually believe that they're trading speed spots between Victor and Jensen. I don't think any of them is actually fast enough to get away from each other. Am I wrong? I think, yeah, he definitely lost now. He's visually gone down. Oh, I believe we're going to be under a second very soon now.
We're under a second now. We are now.
Right. The chase is on now between these two. Can Dentist manage to make the move? 7 minutes left of the race. It's come down to this. Will Jensen's strategy pull off? They're very close now. Half a second between them. Big puff of smoke ahead as well.
Dentist is definitely faster, but it is difficult to... Oh, I think there's a car off there.
Haynes was off.
Haynes is off in the
Oh, look at the slipstream now. There's no way he can keep behind him now.
Side by side.
Very close right now. He's going to hang around the outside. Can he do it? No, he can't. He has to break up and back off then. Benson has to go maximum defense at this point. He knows he has to. It's the only thing he has is he can do. He definitely knows at this point Dentist is quicker. Very slow there by Jensen. Let's see what happens now as Benson's going for the inside line. He's going to hang around the outside. Will he do it? No, he doesn't. He has to sit behind them now.
This is turning out to be a very exciting final phase of the race.
Which happens in this sort of races. As Victor is trying to close that and Higgins in front. I'm sorry, but this is way more intense right now between these two. And you get the slipstream. The Bentley will have the straight line advantage, but remember, there's a ton of slipstream behind that car. Dentist goes for a late lunge. Can he just make a hang around? Not quite. Also, I believe we have a reason now for this Janju's DNF. He apparently went in the wall and engine did fail, and so that explains him not finishing the race. And it gets out very close between under 5 minutes left between these two.
It'll be interesting to see if Dentist can find the opportunity to get past.
It looks like he's going to find an opportunity here. No, he won't. He slips behind. Around the outside. Will he find the other side? No. Jensen's got the inside. Goes, actually, no, scratch that. He goes round the outside. Can he keep it? No, he can't. He's going for the inside line. He's going for the outside line. Jensen is definitely going to pick that inside line. He needs that inside line. They go side by side now into turn 12. Jensen's going very slow. He's making that car as wide as he can at this point.
This is definitely going to be a difficult fight for Dentist. Of course, the Bentley has the straight line advantage, and it's very difficult to overtake in the corners on this track. So you pretty much have to do it on the start-finish straight into turn 1.
But it looks like he's not close enough. He keeps not getting the good exit. Jensen keeps getting the better exit. Jensen's weaving all over. What a late lunge! Can he get it round? No, he can't. Oh, that was a risky move then by the Tom, but could have worked. But just too late. But may have spooked Jensen though. But he's definitely hungry for this win now.
He's hungry for strip waffles.
Under 3 minutes left to go. Tom Jensen, Tom Dentist are going at it. Victor Berlin has got past Higgins, by the way, if you want an update on that situation. But I'm sorry, this is way more intense right now between these two. This is for first place, and I'm pretty sure whoever wins this will be put first in the championship. Due to normative stage from Danny Highwayman and other drivers, this will be the deciding factor about who will be leading the championship into the halfway point of the season. Once again, James takes the inside line at this point. Just can't do anything, it's so easy to defend that corner. But he goes down the inside now. Does he have the run? Ooh. Very close. Not close enough though. And the outside again. Can he get the run on this time? I need water there. My throat was literally dying. Once again, Jensen breaks the slipstream. Right behind each other now. This is be one more lap in this, I believe. 1 minute left to go between these two. It's going to be down to the wire.
Question is, will they finish on this lap or will they get another lap?
I'm going to right now as this is not quite close enough. Not side by side. You can't get the corner. He needs, and Jensen's just positioning his car so well right now. He's always getting the inside line.
And he's always pulling away slightly on the straights. Slipstream effect for Dentist is not good enough.
Just not getting the traction out the corners, it seems like. Every corner he just managed to get a bit more, but he's very close now, but not close enough again. It's so difficult. I don't think it'll be another lap. I think this will be the final lap now. There is enough time as they get very close to each other now. They go on the back of the rear wing. I believe Tom...
The checkered flag is out.
Tom Jensen takes the win at Zandvoort. That was a close one all the way to the end there, but a risky strategy by Jensen just managed to pay off. Knew the fact that the track was very hard to overtake on, and he just used it. That was a great drive by both of them. What a great comeback from Tom Dentist though. But unfortunately he could not make it happen. Tom Jensen takes the win at Zandvoort.
Dentist had the pace, but Jensen chose the superior strategy. Of course, Dentist took tires, Jensen did not. And so he ended up ahead, and he did manage to defend.
Look now at your race winner, Tom Jensen, as he wins his second race in the season, and he will lead into the second half of the season. Next race will be at Monza, the GT3. I think he's got a very strong position now.
Welby just crossed the finish line for 6th. The front of his car looks a bit bent.
Got the close battle between Victor Berlin and Higgins now. They managed to extend the lap just ahead. When will these lot finish then? I think Berlin just has the advantage now as they cross the line for P7 and 8. Victor takes P7, and that is your race, everyone. Dentis sets the fastest lap of the race, but unfortunately it's not enough. Jensen just takes the victory out of that. Only 2 DNFs though. Fairly small grid, but lots of close racing towards the end there. That was the incredible drive for both the drivers then.
Yeah, that was a very exciting race. Unfortunately, the battle for 7 died down a bit at the end. But the battle for the lead was incredible.
This is done. We'll have the results through shortly for the championship standings. But I believe Jensen will be taking the biggest points haul over now. We've now quickly get this prepared for you guys to take a bit. Well, because obviously things all take time. That was still a close race though. That was an incredibly close race towards. My throat is dead. I need a new throat after that. What?
GP2 throat. Thank you, CB, for the compliments. Hope you enjoyed the race.
Race that was really good fun to commentate that. Hell of a race. So 2 very evenly matched drivers then. The takes a bit of time.
Some elevator music on.
Right, there we go. Let's do the results now. Stop. So, results will be in. We're gonna go stop the stream. Right, there is your current overall results. We'll go through them quickly right now. A bit too late. Your current leader in the championship is Tom Jensen with 50 points. Second place is Mark Whitford, 45. Tom Dentis also tied for second with 45 points. Daniel Highwayman drops to 4th. He was leading the series. He could not make this race. He drops back to 4th now. Jensen in the Nissan 27th. Antti Kovalainen 6th with 23. Sebastian Bruno moves up to 7th overall with 22. I with Victor Berlin with 22 as well. John Dalton is now with 20 points. Walby is now 10th with 17.
Kevin Neff in 11th also with 17, so actually that's shared 10th with Walby. Dragos Bibe, 15 points in 12th. 13th we have Robert Nygaard with 13 points. 14th Robin Sutherland, 12 points. Chris Bow, 15th, 11 points. Marcus Lawrence in 16th with 9 points. Stephen Higgins in 17th, 9 points. So tied for 16th with Marcus Lawrence. Connor Mathisen, 5 points in 18th. Tied with Tim Haynes. And then in 20th, we have Thijs Dendo with 4 points.
21st is Alex Fake, 2 points. 22nd is Erwin van der Boer with 1 point. And 23rd is Tommy Nilsson. Anyone below that has not done a race or has DNF. And that sums up this race stream. Hope everyone enjoyed the broadcast and enjoyed the race. We certainly did here. What any final words, Erwin, you'd like to say before we end this? That was a hell of a race.
It was good.
It was good. Next week will be the Variety Cup, which will be same track in WTCC cars. That should be a fun race to watch as well. Remember, the OVRC does also host club races every Tuesday, which will be happening tomorrow. There won't be a broadcast as such, but I personally will be streaming from my perspective. I hope you all enjoy this broadcast. Thank you from everyone here at the OVRC. Enjoyed.